I'm expecting a longer match today, regardless of the number of games. But I guess you never really know.
Couple of cheap points early on. Definitely can tell by the looks on their faces and their intent in that warm-up that it's looking to be a good contest.
Well, as a squash fan, I have to say that putting on a series like this with no PSA points and rankings and things on the line, you often worry if the games will be a little bit too exhibition-y and too friendly.
Yeah.
But what we've seen is there's a few rivalries here that some have been around for a while and some of them are new, but they create a competitive spirit that just kicks in, and we've definitely seen that in a number of matches over the last 3 weeks, and it's a true bonus for us, because we saw this series as an opportunity for the players to get back on court and play. Never quite sure how good the matches would be. And we've had some very, very competitive matches, and the quality has just slowly improved each week as everyone's got used to being back in the heat of battle again. And this is a bonus Saturday afternoon. A lot on this match for both players, both in good shape, no excuses, and very juicy contest.
I guess the thing with everyone here is we all play each other all the time, don't we? So there's always going to be something from the past or something on the line from last time, and you sort of know what to expect. So I think that creates a pretty good atmosphere, especially for matches like this when you're playing week in, week out. It's a nice straightened shot out of the front from TEMWA.
Well, that's what we want to see. He almost never plays straight from front forehand.
No.
And when he starts doing that, we know he's being a good boy.
Yeah.
Well, you missed my rant at the start, Joel, where I ran through sort of TEMWA's history in the last few months and how he's looking to find his game plan again. And certainly his start so far has been encouraging.
It's not like you to rant.
Yeah, it's out of character, I agree. But got to do it for the fans back home.
Yeah, no, he's had a bit of a tough time recently with his sickness, but he's well and truly back on the horse in the last couple of weeks.
Now, one thing we've seen as that ball exits the court is we've seen Elijah's short game really improve compared to our view of it last year.
Yeah,
so
definitely
his
softer
volley
hands.
drops and his drops off the ground much higher quality. Now, low tin, glass court, white ball.
Looks a lot better, doesn't it?
It makes it look better, but you've still got to have the skills to play the shot, and he's definitely gone up a gear in that regard, do you think?
I agree, yeah. It was pretty evident playing against him. Slightly more threats when you're on the back foot. TEMWA opting to almost go through Elijah there.
Well, I think he made the mistake last week of not hunting the ball down, and then he got a couple of no-lets.
Yeah.
And it was fair enough. I mean, the refs have got to call it on what they see it, and if you don't look like you're going to get there, obviously no contact. So he's certainly got a wake-up call in that regard. Puts the pace on there. Yeah. Patient though.
He says it's not his biggest weapon, but I have to disagree with him on that one. When he gets that ball in the right spot, in the slot, should I say, on the forehand, it's not very nice to play against.
Well, from a spectator's point of view, when you see him wind up that forehand,
Yeah.
you know something's
Yeah.
going to happen.
It's going to
And
explode.
it may not be good, but it's going to be
sounds
worth
good.
watching.
Yeah.
Good little probing rally here. Elijah loves this.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, good hold. Just waiting for Elijah to settle on the tee and then whipping it past him.
So we've got 6-3.
Textbook Temwa.
Yeah. And it. Temwa's generally pretty good on the score, so that was a good passage of play for him. Kind of stuck to his game plan pretty well. Got Elijah flapping a bit, but
He'll be
another
disappointed
error.
with that one. I think that's 2 errors he's made on that shot. Or
Yeah.
he's just such a big boy, isn't he, Temwa?
He's a big lad.
That's when you see him stand there to receive serve.
Yeah. He's lucky to get away with that. He's a bit casual on a couple of those defensive shots, and but he's still in the rally. So
You can just hear.
well, that's very generous.
You can just hear there's a lot more intent on the, or pace on the ball from Temwa. For the people that watched last week, I'm sure or watched this matchup last week, I'm sure they could have noticed the difference by now already.
Well, we have our Tuesday night match analysis with we get Chiwamba Chileshe on the line, and the four of us go through a match. And it was Temwa's choice this week. Nice touch there. Well, maybe that's karma. Yeah, so we did the old Zoom call, and Temwa chose his match against Elijah last week, so he's had the that's an unfortunate error. He's had the ripping in from the lads about his performance. So as I said earlier, no excuses for not knowing what to do. Good shot.
There it is.
Good defence from Elijah. Little hold and punch, nice length.
Good rally.
Good length.
Oh. It's good squash here from the boys. Tough movements for Elijah on this rally.
Yeah. It's
And
an
he's
unfortunate way to end the point.
just catching himself.
Nine 5.
Temwa seems to be very worried about the score
He
in this
is.
set.
Nice shot. Well, we have a saying amongst the group, and we call it the Chileshe boast.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of fellas we know that are prone to chucking in the random boast.
Hint.
It's one of their better shots for sure, but they are definitely guilty of overplaying it. Oh, we
almost
read
had
it. Read it.
Try and do too much with it, yeah.
Yeah. Thoughts on the Chileshe boast, Joel?
Oh, I mean, I've played against it, I've watched it. Probably guilty myself once or twice, but I mean, the amount of times I've just I watched the boys play and just thought, where the hell did that come from? Yeah. Goes without saying, it's an absolute shocker.
Kind of had to be after it hit the back wall.
I think a boast would have got him though.
Yeah, would have taken his head off.
Oh, great lift.
Yeah, he's overhit that slightly, but if you're going to get it wrong, overhit it.
Definitely.
He's got Elijah flapping a bit here, but he will
there's
recover. He drew the error, so takes the first one.
Tim looking very focused.
So, Joel, just for a moment, I'll ask you to pretend you're Paul Hornsby and tell me what you would have said to Elijah in the break.
Good question.
Is that a bit harsh? Do I need to give you some thinking time?
It's not too harsh. Pretty good thinking on my feet. I would have told him to use a bit more height, to be honest. I was feeling as though when he was on the back foot in that last game, he wasn't using the front wall enough to get back in front of Temwa. So, definitely would have said when you're at the back of the court, try and lift a little bit more, or out of the front as well. Oh, don't know how that got up from Temwa. So he's racing out to a 4-love lead already.
Definitely a lot more intensity from the Panda tonight so far. Very quick onto that ball. Good width. Needs to volley that one.
He's got it. Oh, well done. Court coverage from Temwa.
Good recovery from the big lad. Decent mass to move around.
There's a lot of mass there.
A lot of power to get up off the ground there and
Feel sorry for the floor on that one. It's good play though. I think Elijah's really struggling to find a rhythm in this match. You know, he likes to play straight and traditionally, and Tim was really breaking that.
Yeah, I think the pace is good, and the variation is good in that he's varying the patterns without going short too early and without opening things up. And that's what you need to do against Elijah.
Switch on!
Decent rant from the lad. Thoughts?
Bit of venting there from... Bit of a vent, should I say, from Elijah.
Okay. But he likes to do that, and if that's what he needs to do to fire up, so be it. That will be a stroke. 8-love. This is a bit of a surprise. Not that the Pandas come out fired up, but that Elijah's not countering it as well.
Yeah, it's a... professional stuff from Temwa.
Oh,
you know, he's carried on his momentum and he's picked up again in this set, and then Elijah with no response so far.
He's had a couple of good moments in this rally. He's definitely fired up, but the Panda can sense it.
Yeah, just too good there from Temwa.
He's got an answer to everything.
He's looking the goods. Forehand again.
That's good length as well.
Oh,
He's gone for it. Surely Elijah's dizzy right now.
that's out of court, that one. And some
10 love.
very subtle little holds in this match from TEMWA, or in that rally in particular. 10 love, will he go
I was
for
going
the...
to say he's going to serve out, or is he going to go for the bagel?
Is he hungry? Oh,
It's a good
I'm not sure if he meant that to be that close. He's a nice guy, Tim, so...
Oh.
Oh. So it's enjoyable to watch, and just shows what can change over 3 weeks and 3 tournaments with all the same players. You know, you might think it's rather predictable, but you just never know what's going to happen with these boys.
Well, I think Elijah obviously listened to your commentary, Joel, because he's slowing the pace down.
So it'd be interesting to see what the response is here from Elijah. It was definitely competitive in that first game, and then Tim obviously running away with that second game of 11 love. So he's on the back foot.
Little bounce there.
It's good counter work though from Tim in that front corner today. Front left.
He's
Great
a bit
shot.
faster going in there,
Definitely.
and it makes a huge difference.
A lot more pace going into those front corners, onto the ball a lot earlier, and getting Elijah reaching back with those fast cross courts out the front.
Bit of the unusual footwork there from the young fella.
Leave that one up to the viewers.
Nice hold and punch. Elijah gets a point. It's been a while.
On the backhand, of course.
Yeah, I mean, he just loves working up down that channel. He's probably played hours and hours backhand rails. And really, he plays a style that a lot of coaches will coach because it's a nice attacking style, not risky when you know what you're doing.
Oh.
He's had it on a string the last couple of weeks, playing that style. There he goes again, straight volley drop.
Man, that's where he caught Timber out a lot last week. In that front left, that pattern of that straight volley drop, racket out in front.
Yep.
That ball's definitely died off.
It is.
Considerably.
I think the Panda's dropped a little. He's got to fire up again. That's a very high quality shot. Done it again.
Oh, it's this pattern we were just talking about. Good recovery from Timber though. Great shot. Just good work down this backhand. Yeah.
Oh. Does it again? Oh.
Gonna have to question that one myself.
Yeah, look, let's be honest, these balls are hard to call. And we've all watched a lot of PSA and we've said, from the back view that looks down, and then you get the camera from the front and you see they got it under, and everyone's techniques and pickups now are so much better in terms of how aspiring players copy the top players' techniques and slide the racket edge under the ball, and even if it looks like it's bouncing off the floor.
think that's a good call, to be honest. We've all had that feeling when your opponent, trickle both you up the front and you've already gone one way, and then you see the ball, but it's just a little bit out of reach on the other side. So we've seen that quite a bit in PSA recently, haven't we?
Yep.
If the referee feels that you have taken the wrong line to the ball, they're pretty unforgiving with their calls.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're allowed to. That's a nice shot.
That's a very nice shot.
They know they have to give a let if you can recover. So just because you've taken the wrong line doesn't. Back in the day they used to say created your own interference.
Yep.
But as long as you can demonstrate you can get back to it. There's just not a lot of sympathy if you're not really proving that you can get it.
Great lob there.
If there's doubt, then
I guess the other thing that I feel sometimes they don't really factor in, well, they have more recently, but a few years ago they didn't really factor in how fast some of these guys are getting around the court. So even if they do go the wrong direction, more often than not they will pick that ball up.
Yeah.
Especially with some of the dives and things like that are happening now. Oh, quick hands.
That's a good hold punch.
Straightened.
Yeah.
Well straightened. A lot of hold punches from Temwa this match, just eating into the legs of Elijah a little bit more.
Yeah, we see that because Elijah is got very good aerobic endurance, not necessarily the fastest changing direction. He always covers the front, so he is vulnerable to the hold punch. But you've got to be good enough to execute it.
Definitely.
Get him on your shoulder, show the front and punch to the back. And then you've got to keep doing it because he generally picks it up.
Definitely a lot harder on the glass too, because it's a little bit harder to get that ball through the back. Last thing you want is to be feeding your opponent balls on their racket on this court. Here it is again though.
Nice bit of banter from the players there. Trying to get a bit of influence on the ref. Generally doesn't work, but it helps them process the rally.
They're both trying to take that ball early. It's just a bit of traffic, I feel.
Good length. That's good length.
Yeah, good length again.
Well, he really had to volley the cross court a couple of shots earlier and didn't, and that brought Elijah back into that rally.
So he's firing up here a little bit. 5-6 now.
Yeah.
Temwa's just got to stay solid, I feel, and lost his length a little bit.
Yeah, he slipped back into that, play everything down the backhand and go short too early, which is what killed him last week.
Definitely.
And we'll see if he snaps out of it in
Maybe
time to
a
save
sign.
the match.
He's relaxed a little bit. That's worked time and time again for him in this match. So as you said, Temwa playing a little bit straight and then taking the ball in short too early, which I think has put him on the back foot in this rally, but clawing it back.
Smart play from Elijah to slow the pace down there. Oh, at full stretch there.
Seen a number of cross-court drops actually, haven't we?
Yep. Yeah, well, you played a couple of shockers, but a couple of good ones too.
Yeah, that's very true.
The
It's a
I will
tempting shot in this court.
Yeah, of course it is, but I mean, how often does it really work? I mean, it's
One
one
out
of
of
those
10.
things, not that often.
Looks good when it happens, but
Yeah, the old
when it
taxis.
works out. But when it doesn't, you look like a complete idiot.
It's like a busy Saturday night. The taxis are few and far between. Another battle down the back end.
Elijah getting the better of him on that counter.
We said before it was a problem area for the lad, and so it proves again. Good serve.
Oh, he's done well there. Good to see Elijah firing up.
Yeah. He generally,
Is it a bit of a fight up?
he generally puts in a decent performance, so no shocks there. Two-point lead for Elijah and 2 to go, so he's in a nice spot. He's got back into that probing straight back end work.
Yeah, I feel his length has come back a little bit.
Yep.
Timwa going short a little bit too early again. He's lucky with that one.
That was a shocker. Bit of banter on the court.
Good serve. Yep.
Ball is absolutely dead right now.
Very dead. And yeah, you can just see from that movement. So it's 9-all now. Very interesting.
Very juicy
Elijah.
right now.
Be interesting if this does go to 4. Really got to get that volley, don't you? Before that ball gets to the back.
Yep. And you've got to get a bit. Both players need to find better width. What's it called there? Oh. That was pretty close.
It's pretty marginal on those ones, isn't it?
Lots of passion on the court. Good to see.
Oh, great shot.
The money.
That stayed very short. Don't think many
It's
people
one
would
of
have got
those
that back.
shots that they look good when they go up, but oh my god, that was so close to not going up.
Yeah. Pressure's on. Oh, great shot. No.
Good game, lads. Well played.